up, everyone? Welcome to Backlog and Beyond, the podcast where we talk about the old video games we want to beat and the new ones we play instead. I'm your host, Jeff Zavatero.
And I'm your other host, Nathan Hawkins, and this is episode numero cuatro.
I'm glad we had it titled at the top because I still forgot.
I only remember this because I make the Instagram posts, so I have to make them before the. I end up making them before the show starts or before we record, so I have to actually physically write episode 4. So that's how I always remember.
That's fair. We did it. Welcome to the show. We are experts in gaming and gaming history. If you ask me anything about the game I just played, I could Google it.
PhDs.
PhD
in Google.
Yeah. So anyway, what are you playing, Nathan?
Well, I just rolled the credits on The Last of Us.
Yes.
My goodness, love that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just incredible, and I'm actually really glad I played it again because I think it's a great lead in to play part 2 Friday.
Yeah,
it really snuck up quickly. So yeah, rolled the credits. That was great, and I actually started Left Behind. Turns out you and I were both right actually because
I'm in there too. It is a
prequel, and it is a side story of Ellie where it's right after when the whole fiasco happens with Joel and Ellie and.
Yeah,
and they kind of show what happens between fall and winter. There's like that huge gap, and that's where the game is. That's where you're actually playing the game, but you're also jumping back to, before you met Joel.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm actually enjoying that as well. It's actually really fun. It's a lot harder than The Last of Us. I don't know if it's because you don't start off with a gun right away, or if it's just because it just got harder in general. I don't know, but it's already a lot harder than The Last of Us, but I'm glad it's only like a 3-hour game. So
they also added the stalker infected, which they run and hide.
Oh yeah, those are horrible.
Yeah, they're a little bit funny. I have to be honest, I do not like it at all. I don't like the Left Behind at all.
Oh, interesting.
I think I like the part with Riley, but then when you're doing the other part, you're playing by yourself.
Yeah.
And if you can't have the interaction as you're walking, then it's not enjoyable for me. Well, yeah. I'm very worried for Last of Us 2 for me, because that's all it is.
I was just going to say that's exactly what The Last of Us 2 is going to be.
But the other hand is I always, always, always hate prequels. Prequels are the worst, especially when you're playing for the story. It's like, oh, I wonder how this is going to end. Right. The Last of Us ended with her talking about how her and Riley got bitten at the same time. And then we know that she makes it back in time to save Joel. So why are we here?
No, I agree with you on that. Actually, I thought the same thing. That was my only gripe with the game, the fact that we know everything that happens. So it's almost like Naughty Dog literally just wanted to make another game to make some more money.
Yeah, I really enjoy meeting Riley, but I think that's something that could have been woven into the game to have more impact on the line at the end.
Right.
Because my favorite part was when we went into the Halloween store and where you could pick which mask you wanted to wear.
That was so fun. Yeah. I loved that part. Did you end up getting all the masks put on?
How many? I did 3.
Yeah, same here. The bird was the last mask I put on. The bird.
Got it. That was the second one I put on, but then after I put on the third one, I put back on the bird one.
Nice. And were you the brick champion?
Yes, I was. It was really easy.
It was easy.
I was like, I can aim. This isn't fair.
Wow, hard. No, I am enjoying their story though. It's kind of nice. Like, if anything I'm getting out of it, it's just their relationship.
Yeah.
And I think this is where it's introduced that Ellie is, I don't know if she's confirmed lesbian or if she's just bisexual, but I think this is where that kind of came up.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything with them in terms of a relationship. As far as I'm concerned, they're just friends.
Right.
But we'll see if it goes anywhere. I don't know how far you are, but I got to where the lights are on, and then she's like, I have something to show you, and then it shows Ellie's reaction, and then you cut back to present time.
Oh yeah, I got just past that. Like, I think I'm in this, I forget where I am. I'm trying to find fuel.
Oh, for the generator?
Yeah.
Okay, I just got past that.
Okay, I did.
That's where you really
too.
see the stalker infected.
Yes,
so.
that was a hard section. That took me a while. That took me a couple times.
It's because they dodge. I couldn't shoot them.
I know. It's like, dang. Oh man. So yeah. But I'm super excited for part 2. You know, just by playing these games, it's kind of it's a good way to get hyped.
Yeah, the reviews are great. Most everyone thinks the story's really good. People are just back and forth whether they think the story is better than the first one.
Yeah, the director was saying that if you loved the first one, you may absolutely hate the second one.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like it's going to be very divisive. You're either going to love the first, you're going to love the second, or you're going to hate it. There's no like, I'm indifferent.
Yeah. I'm going to take a quick pause to open this soda. It was much quieter than I thought. It's a Dr. Pepper.
Oh man, I want Dr. Pepper right now. I got stupid Kirkland purified water.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
I'm actually trying to lose weight. If anybody cares, I just started Noom.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's actually it's interesting. It's all based on psychology and just kind of changing your habits, not so much as like go on this diet.
Yeah, no, like I feel like all diets should be a lifestyle change, because if it's a diet, that means it's going to end.
Exactly.
And once I stopped thinking that way, that's when I gained my weight back. But I'm also doing a day camp with kids. It's 100% outdoors. We play dodgeball probably for 5 hours a day. So I don't know if I've necessarily been losing weight, but it shifted. Like, I don't feel as fat as I did.
Well, yeah, you don't look it.
2 weeks ago. You say that because you could see me, but I can't see you because your internet's trash.
That's right. Trashy over here.
But yeah, I mean, it sounds like I'm going to be outdoors for the next 7 weeks in the 100-degree heat. So,
well,
hopefully I'll sweat off the weight.
I'm excited to see your tan.
Yeah, I know. Like, you can't see it so well in this light, but my watch tan is like an indicator of how tan I've been getting. Like when I'm in the sunlight, it's just pale white, and the rest of me is tan. So
you like take it off and blind people with it.
That's how I know how much tanner I'm getting.
Use it as like a reflector.
I'm really worried I'm gonna get like a face mask tan.
Oh no, seriously. I mean, luckily I have not been going out as much. I've actually been staying home as much as possible.
Yeah.
Just because of the girls. But honestly, like, yeah, I don't have to worry about that as much, but I could see that like so many people are going out and masks are required. So yeah, I can only imagine the tans that are going to happen.
Yeah. And like, I'm lucky I have a beard. So really all I have to worry about is like my nose, but,
just his white, bright nose.
Yeah. My nose is naturally like red. So I think I can get away with it, but it's still annoying.
So it's the opposite of Rudolph if you don't get it tanned.
I mean, it's always red. So I guess.
All right.
I'm just Rudolph. Anyway, did you have time to play anything else?
No. Oh, well, obviously I played your game that you told me to play.
Yeah,
but
I don't count those.
Yeah, no, that's it.
I've been playing Words with Friends a lot.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
Shannon, actually, we have a game going. She plays once every 4 days.
Yeah, she plays with her dad a lot. Like, her dad plays every day.
Oh, so she's just ignoring my games then.
Exactly.
Got it.
No, I'm just kidding.
I think she's also better than me. I've been getting better. Like, my issue is sometimes I'll play a cool word even if it leaves me open to getting hit by a triple word.
Okay.
Like, I'm not like a very strategic player. I'm like, I can play the word like, I don't know, I can only think of inappropriate words, but if I could play an inappropriate word, I play it, and and then I get like 12 points, and then they get a triple word off of it, getting them 45 points, and then I lose. But I play longer words.
My father-in-law played mofos today, and he was like, and he looked it up. There's no definition for it.
It's a little easier than Scrabble because I could sit there all day and plug in letters until I find a word that I want to play. Yeah,
you just exactly. You just scramble them around until something pops up. You're like, oh, that works. That's a good.
Or I'm like, I think soapbox sounds like a word. Nope, I think soapfax sounds like a word, and then I just keep doing that for 20 minutes until I get my triple word.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a deductive reasoning game at some point.
Yeah, but so compared to like Scrabble, that's cheating. But It's better than using like the Scrabble word finders that they have on the internet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I used to play Words with Friends all the time, but I haven't touched it in forever just because my attention span's horrible.
It's a nice, easy way to stay connected with people that you don't talk to every day.
That's true.
It's like I could just shoot a message like, "Hey, nice word."
Nice word. How's your mother?
Yeah.
Say hi to your mother for me.
Tell her what word I played.
Yeah, exactly. In bed.
All right. Well, before we get to the big gaming conference that was this week, why don't we do some video game taboo?
Heck yeah.
Video game taboo.
All right, I have my screen up, and this is gonna be really hard. FYI.
Okay. Okay. I'm looking at mine, and I don't know. Okay. Let's try it. We're gonna try it. Who goes first this week?
I forget. I think I went for. I forget.
Okay, I'll just go first this time.
You're gonna describe.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get the timer ready.
Okay.
All right, whenever you're ready, sir.
All right. And go. So, 2 syllables. The first one you drink out of it.
Cup.
And then
glass.
Yeah. No, you cup.
Oh, Cuphead.
Yep. Okay. The next one is kind of like a puzzle solving platformer. It's an indie game where you can control time. So if you die, you can go back a little bit.
Prince of Persia.
No. The main character has like white hair and like a red scarf. It's a WB game. It's a little.
Oh.
I just don't. It's one word, so I can't like.
Celeste.
No.
No,
okay.
that's no.
I'm gonna keep going. This game has the Nintendo character that's not Mario.
Link.
Yes. So it's one of his games.
Link's Awakening. Breath of the Wild.
Something not the future, but
Link to the Past.
Yes, there we go.
Link to the Past.
Okay, and then this one, it's another word for fate.
Death.
It's something that you're always working toward. Like, you are my George McFly called it density.
Oh, man. I don't know. Skip.
It was destiny. Come on. All right. 2 words. You're not far. You're
close.
Another word for close. You're not far-sighted. You're blank-sighted.
Nearsighted.
Okay, so near, and then
Near Automata.
Yes, thank you. And then fire breathing.
Time's up.
Okay, this was so bad. All right, so we got 1, 2. You didn't get destiny, but you got near Automata.
Yeah, fate, destiny, duh.
And then
I'm glad I got near.
So we got 3. I was trying to get you to Dragon Age Inquisition, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle Earth 2.
Okay.
And Bastion.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right, let me start my timer. Okay, here we go. And away.
Okay.
We go. Name for the Japanese mafia.
Yakuza.
Yep, and it's not 1, but before 1.
Yakuza 0.
Yes. When you're afraid, you have another word for phobia.
Fear.
Yes, and it's not the first, but the
last. Fear last.
What's after first?
Second.
Yeah, so
Fear 2?
Yep. Not morning, but
night.
Okay, and then not a forest, but it's the same thing, but it's another name for forest.
Woods?
Yeah, so
night in the woods.
Yes. Okay, you just named this one Fellowship of the
Rings.
Okay, but it's the same game you were just gonna try to describe to me.
Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle Earth.
Okay, this one's an open world. You fix cars. It's a post-apocalyptic game. There's desert storms. Yes. Space game. It's the third one. Third of its series.
Dead Space 3.
No, it's a RPG.
Mass Effect 3.
Yes. This is a first-person shooter. One of the most popular first-person shooters of
Call
all
of
time.
Duty.
No, it's before that. It's one that people used to go to LAN parties all the time.
Oh, Counter-Strike.
Yes, and then the last one, it's not the moon. What's in the sky with
Stars.
the moon? Yes, and what do you do when you're trying to like make something?
Create. Make
another word for it, like when you're in Minecraft. Dang it.
build. StarCraft.
Time was already up.
Star build.
Star build 2. Damn.
So did I get 7?
Yes, you got 7.
It's weird that we go back and forth on best guessers.
I know. Yeah, so you got Yakuza 0, Fear 2, Night in the Woods, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings was hilarious. The Battle for Middle-earth 2, Counter-Strike, Mass Effect 3, Mad Max, and StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty.
Cool.
So,
not bad.
Yeah. Again, not close, but not far.
Okay. Yeah, I had hard games. That's
GG. That's okay.
Some of these are just so like I clicked again. I could have had to say What Remains of Edith Finch.
Oh. Yeah, that would have sucked.
Yeah. Okay. So glad we didn't have to do that.
I like how pretty much every game that I described, except for maybe like one, I had to like just go by words and not actually by like premise.
I know. Like I was like, I don't know if Nathan knows what Bastion is.
Yeah. No, I know what Bastion is. I've seen Bastion. I just never played it.
Yeah. I've tried it. I haven't gotten too far into it.
Gotcha.
Okay, so let's move on to our next thing, which is the big Sony conference. They had PlayStation 5, the future of gaming. So lots of games to unwrap here.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a history of going way too long on our main subject, so I thought we can kind of breeze through them a little bit, say a thing or two, and then pick our top 3 most anticipated and why.
I'm happy with that.
So I found a list in order. I'm going to say them, and then if you want to say anything about it, we'll stop.
Cool.
So first was the big reveal. Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online expanded and enhanced.
Yep.
I was going to be severely upset if they wanted me to pay for that game again. Yeah, if I had to pay for it again, I would lose my mind. Like, to get the expanded content.
I know. I was like, you realize this has been like on 2 different consoles.
Yeah. Like
what the heck?
They've released it 3 different times because they did like PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, Xbox One, and then I think they did PC separately still.
Yeah.
And then now it's back. Well, I wonder if you'll have to buy it again on PC. Probably not.
I doubt it.
Hopefully they just upgrade those people. But like
they need to, because this game's been out for so long. It's like, just let's move on, people. Like, let's get Grand Theft Auto 6 out. Let's just move on.
And then there was the rumors of Red Dead Redemption Remastered. I don't know if they just want to announce it themselves.
Maybe. Rockstar does that, though. Rockstar, they tend to only announce new things on their own time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. But still, like, this was what they put out there. I mean, I guess you can't have PlayStation or Xbox be the one to break a major game, but it's still upsetting.
I agree.
Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I thought this was going to be kind of a tack-on story a la Far Cry Primal and Far Cry New Dawn.
Right.
But Insomniac has confirmed this is a standalone game.
Right.
The nice thing about Spider-Man games, though, is they all take place in New York. So unless you're going to change the city, you don't have to change the exterior.
Right.
And when you went into photo mode, it's just retextured everything in 4K. So we know that the textures are already there.
Right.
So that's a slam dunk.
I did also read, though, that Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales will not be a full-length game regardless.
Yeah.
Which is kind of confusing, because even though it's not a add-on, it's a standalone, but it's still not a full-length, like 30-hour, 60-hour game. Yeah. We're talking like what's that game from Naughty Dog? It's the Lost Legacy. So it's going to probably be like a 6 to 8 hour game, which obviously, it honestly is not that bad. Like 6 to 8 hours is pretty good. I'll take it.
I mean, yeah. And I'd like to think that'd be 6 to 8 hours of story, but there's going to be like screwball missions and stuff that take up like 4 of them.
Right.
Which sucks. But that was one of my top 2 games of that year. So I am not upset.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo 7. I have fond memories of Gran Turismo on the PlayStation 2, but that's it.
Nice.
Otherwise, I'm not a racing game fan.
Yeah, neither am I.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. What'd you think?
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
this looked pretty cool. I thought I loved how they actually intermingled the trailer with gameplay, and the gameplay looked pretty smooth. Like it looked really good. I was impressed.
Yeah, like to be able to jump to different worlds instantly with no loading time was insane. Have you played any Ratchet and Clank?
I have not. So honestly, if I play Ratchet and Clank, it'll probably be it might be this one. This might be my first Ratchet and Clank game.
Well, I saw that. Well, I mean, they did remake the first one for PlayStation 4, and they made a movie based on the first one.
Oh, interesting.
So I might try to play the game on PlayStation 4 because we have it ahead of that one coming out. But I mean,
there you go.
That one looked great. So, yeah, Project Athia. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember what that one was.
It was the woman, the chick. She was like pulling like the vines up from the ground, and she was doing some weird magic stuff. Honestly, I think it looked cool. I just don't know enough about it yet to actually make a statement.
That's how I felt about a lot of these.
Yeah, but this one in particular looked kind of generic, but at the same time, it looked interesting enough to where I was like, okay, I just want to hear more about this game.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I just remember being like, okay, that exists.
Yeah.
Then there was Stray, which is going to come out in 2021.
Right. And are we talking about our top 3 right now, or are we waiting until we're done with the
cats.
list? Yeah.
No, we're just going. We're going through the list quick. Well,
okay, great.
I say quick, but.
Sorry. So you were saying about Stray. I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, I mean it's like it looked really cool. That's all.
I agree. I think actually this was one of my top 3. To be honest.
Go ahead. What?
No, I was just gonna. This was actually one of my top 3.
No, it was for me too. Like this is the one I called my wife in, and I'm like, look, and she thought the cat was really cute. But I also really like robots and like humanoid robots.
Yeah.
So I'm in.
Yeah. And it's a cat with a backpack.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if we're talking about our top 3 as we go, Marvel Spider-Man is of course on my top 3.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I had like more than a top 3, but obviously, like,
yeah, I'll point out some I liked. So I was pleasantly surprised by a couple, but there wasn't a ton. I wasn't going to buy every game on this list.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's only a hand. I think there was like maybe like 4 or 5 that I'm really excited for. And Stray was one of them just because it looked so different, and I'm curious to see how they do the gameplay. Like, I'm wondering if it's going to be something where like the cat's listening in on people's stories, so it's going to be kind of like voyeuristic.
Yeah.
And you may have to like go find items and deliver them like secretly, or like, kind of help people out without them noticing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that might be really cool, especially with like the cyberpunk theme.
Yeah, and like it feels like it's also kind of like in a Japan-esque like Tokyo area.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
Yep.
And to me, it was one of the standouts for like gorgeous world.
Definitely.
Yeah. Returnal. I have no interest in that one so far.
See, I do. I am the complete opposite because I'm almost positive this is the one that the Dead Space writer is doing.
Oh yeah,
I'm almost positive. And I thought it looked really cool. I think it's more or less the premise I think is cool, like how this woman's apparently dying over and over and over again, and it looks like that there's a possibility that you're visiting different planets. They're the same planet, but they're completely changing. Mm-hmm. Like, I noticed if you watch the trailer, there's like some parts where it looks like you're on planet Earth, but so I don't know if those like just sequences you go back and forth like with her memories, and they're getting warped and distorted. But the creatures looked really cool. It kind of reminded me of like if Silent Hill was a third-person action shooter. So I mean, that's the kind of vibe I got.
Some of them were like 4, the best one.
Yeah. So I guess I mean like high. Oh, it were they like really high intense? Oh, that's true. Some of the Silent Hills are a little more action focused.
Yes.
Whereas like I'm thinking of like Silent Hill 1, which was more of like a puzzle survival horror. But I can even imagine like if you have to like put together some of her memories, there may be some puzzle solving. So this was also like on my top 3 was Returnal. Just because I was a huge fan of the Dead Space games, and the writing in the Dead Space games are really good. And that's just my opinion, but I am really excited about this one.
It honestly, it was pretty down there for me just because it felt like Just one of those like, ooh, intriguing, ooh, but
just not my, it's not my thing. Just not my thing.
Next one up was Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering about this one, like whether it's going to be like an actual platformer, or if like,
that's what it looks like.
You know, like it's not just going to be like a 2D, like not 2D, but 3D side scroller where they've done traditionally. Where this is actually going to be like almost like I don't know, like Mario Maker, I guess, but like 3D Mario Maker. I can't explain it.
Did it say you can make your own levels? Because I felt like this one, unlike Little Big Planet, was going to be like where it's an actual platformer and not one where you make it yourself.
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did some kind of customization elements, because it could be where they had 2D for the longest time and now they're like, well, now you can make 3D worlds, you know?
Yeah, I hope, like, I honestly hope it's just a game.
I kind of agree.
Like, maybe make it $40 and then it's a platformer in a style of Mario. Because I think that I was pretty down on it when I heard that it was revealed. But then I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, if it's an actual game put together like that, that looks like fun.
Right.
But it's another one where my issue with the Mario games, I never finished them because the story wasn't that like pulling.
Gotcha.
Like, I may have a blast playing it, but I don't think that would be a game that I would finish.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Destruction All-Stars.
That looked fun. Looked like stupid fun.
I was as soon as they were like doing, you know, the dance moves and jumping into the pit, I was like, oh no. But it felt like Twisted Metal mixed with Overwatch, and I am here for it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I am upset that they didn't have a
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. I'm actually kind of upset that Twisted Metal wasn't on the list, because I know a lot of people were looking forward to a new Twisted Metal game.
Yeah.
But I wasn't never really a big fan of the series, so I wasn't upset. But I thought this was like a nice like way to kind of mix that idea with another concept. So I don't know.
Twisted Metal is one of the, like, Twisted Metal 2 specifically is one of the games that didn't have a strong story, but I beat several times to see the ending for each of the characters that I liked.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was like a scene. Most of the time they really didn't have a story. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed Twisted Metal. I didn't enjoy the PlayStation 2 game at all.
Gotcha.
So I'm
that
okay. That
was the one I played.
I'm okay with it being not Twisted Metal.
Right.
So I'll probably pick it up on sale.
Cool.
Unless it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably pass on this game, but I know it looks fun. So I mean, I think all my taste aside, I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, we'll probably play it eventually.
I think like that's a game for you and me to play for sure.
Yeah. Kena, Bridge of the Spirits.
This was my top 3 as well.
I really like the art style. It feels like a PlayStation 3 game, but with PlayStation 5 graphics.
Yes.
But I don't know. I have to see more on it.
I just loved, because I was noticing like those little tiny furry dudes, like how you can actually use them as like your sidekicks, like how they were actually like ganging up on some of the monsters, and like as she was shooting like those power arrows, they were like bouncing off of them and not only hitting the target that she was aiming at, they were hitting the 3 targets around it. So that was kind of cool that they were using those little furry dudes as like innovative combat, I guess. I thought the monsters designs were super cool looking. The visuals were really stunning. The gameplay looks really fun. And the end of the trailer was like what really hit me the hardest with that is when she was in that really like dark gray forest and she ended up like doing some kind of like power slam to the ground, and then everything around her turned like to green and like the plants came back to life and the flowers bloomed. I was like, oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it was a gorgeous transition. I was like, okay, this game looks really cool. And I'm all about, like third person action adventures, and this game looks really fun. And I think the art style is kind of cool too. It's something different than what I would normally go with. And I think the fact that it actually grabbed my attention was even more of a reason for me to be like, okay, this needs to go on my list.
Yeah, it's fair. I like, for some reason, like, I'm really sick of like the we're in a forest and we know magic. Like,
yeah,
it feels like a genre in itself, like being in a forest.
I hear you.
And I haven't played many of those, to be honest, but it's just those are never ones I look at the back cover and be like, oh, I do want to play this. No,
right.
It doesn't happen a lot.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so that was that one. Goodbye Volcano High. Any thoughts?
Sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was wondering if you were going to say something first.
Oh.
No, I actually, this one looks cool. It wasn't on my top 3, but it looks like it's just a chill, cool, like a chill experience, like a nice story that you can kind of just go through.
Yeah.
And it looked interesting. The fact that it was like all these dinosaurs. So
yeah,
it's intriguing at least. So
I think it's really hard to pull off a cartoon, especially if like the gameplay is 3D but the cartoons are 2D.
I see.
It's really hard to make it look good. Like Dragon Ball Z games still don't make it look great. But I thought this one visually for a cartoon looked really good.
Yeah, it did.
But nothing about the story made me feel like I had to play it.
I agree. They didn't really hook me with the story, which kind of was like I was indifferent about it.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I'd wait to hear a review, and if the reviews are really good, I would probably pick it up.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I'd probably do the same. I'd get it if it was less than $30, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. It seems like a cheaper.
Yeah.
Cheaper in game.
If it starts out at 60, I predict it'll be 30 within 3 months.
Nice. That's a good guesstimate.
Oddworld Soulstorm. I'll start off on this one. They talked about it before they debuted the trailer, and they're like, "You die in really funny ways. This is a fun game." And then they show this really dark trailer with no comedy. Like this guy's mouth was sewn shut.
Yeah,
I was like, "This is really dark."
Yeah, no, it was. It kind of reminded me of like a really dark version of Lemmings.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to say blown away. I was taken aback. I was like, did I miss it? I've never played an Oddworld game.
Neither have I.
I think they've been free, like on PlayStation Plus, but I've never picked one up. And I was honestly intrigued. Like,
yeah,
the characters look goofy, which is the only kind of funny part of it.
Right.
But I like that style of trailer where it's like, oh, this story looks good, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we'll see.
Yeah. Ghostwire Tokyo.
This one, I will say this: it looked very intriguing. Mm-hmm. The combat looked really cool and fun. But it just was a little too far out there for me, I think.
Yeah.
To where I may wait on that one to see what it's actually about. It just looked like random. I don't know. It just seemed like there was no like cohesive theme with like the enemies.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, this must be some kind of like nightmare game, or it's just, a weird Japanese thing that I'm just not understanding. But it looked cool. It looked cool. It may not be for me. But that's kind of where
what you said is exactly how I feel about Ghost of Tsushima.
The enemies are just so inconsistent. No theme.
I just meant the end part of what you said. Like,
oh, okay.
It looks cool, and like I really like this and this, but it's not for me.
This is not for me.
I'd play it if it was a VR game, but otherwise, I'm not gonna play it because like any game where, and I wrote this for another game too, Deathloop. I wrote it for this too. Any game where they do like hand swipes and then it does a magic move. I feel like when they do hand tracking for VR, that's what it's made for.
Right.
So if this game was in VR, it'd be 100% buy for me as an experience. But I hate first-person games otherwise, so I'm not going to pick this one up, at least immediately.
There you go.
Yep. Jet, The Far Shore. What'd you think?
I thought that was weird. It was really weird. It was very. I wasn't actually sure what was happening or what was going on.
Oh yeah.
But it seems like you're basically like an explorer of like new worlds or something, and like you're just flying over and like you're like, I guess, discovering new land.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not exactly sure. Like it was such an odd trailer. I just didn't even know what to say about it. But I mean, it looked interesting, but that's it.
Yeah, and it had a very clear art style, but it just felt so drab.
Yeah, it was just the color scheme was kind of like dark, and you really couldn't see much what was happening. So I don't know. I think it'd be one of those games where I'd have to wait to see more of it.
I was like, it doesn't pop at all.
Yeah,
which I'm sure is their point, but It's not enough. It
Yeah.
it doesn't hook me.
No.
Godfall.
I have a note here. Godfall's trailer was god awful.
Well, that's the end of our podcast. We're never recording another episode again.
Cue drum hit.
I quit.
No, that was like a horrible trailer. Like who picks the music for this stuff? Like,
I wrote
it just did not fit the theme.
Yeah.
The gameplay looked so like bland. I was like, why was this like such a hype game for PS5? It just not. I mean, I can understand that some people like hack and slash, but this just looked so. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the combat kind of looked God of War like the original 3 games.
Yeah,
but like done poorly. Like.
Yeah, I agree. It just didn't look good at all. I'm like it was I think it was in 60 frames the trailer, and that it didn't even look. I don't know. It didn't do it justice.
Yeah. So this was bottom 3 for me.
Yeah, it's poo poo.
Mm-hmm. Solar Ash. How do you feel?
I kind of forget this trailer, to be honest. It's forgettable. But I know this is one of the PlayStation exclusives. I just remember the art style being very interesting. And I'll probably look into it more once they have more come out. But I mean, I just remember the one part which says you've arrived, or you're finally here, or whatever. And then
this one was a timed exclusive, right?
Was it?
Yeah, I'm looking at the list you sent me.
Okay, cool.
I think it kind of reminded me of like Journey mixed with like Ori or something like that. But so like it looked cool, but I hate how often I say it's not for me. If that were a drinking game, you would be dead. But that's not for me.
Yeah, no, me neither. I don't know. So far, it's like okay, whatever.
Yeah. Hitman 3.
Yep, last of the trilogy. Apparently, this is the finale.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played 1 or 2 yet.
With how precise you have to be, I almost feel like I would rather play those games on mouse and keyboard.
Okay, interesting.
But I've played 1, at least the first like 2 or 3 missions, and I loved it. Right. And I love how many different ways you can choose to kill somebody. Mm-hmm. And I've definitely watched videos of the older games where like there was one video where he had tricked someone into stepping into a puddle that had exposed wire so they'd get electrocuted. And then the next person comes up and goes, "What's going on here?" And then they walk closer and get electrocuted. And there was like a pile of 15 bodies.
Oh,
and every time it's like, "What's going on here?" And they get shot.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I feel like that would be fun to play with other people in the room.
Yes.
But like
taking turns kind of thing.
Who's like, "Hey, you want to come over to my house and watch me play Hitman?"
Yeah. Not really.
Yeah.
Blood Money is still my favorite Hitman game.
I honestly, before this new trilogy, I haven't played any of them. I got them
really
because of this, but I haven't played any of the other ones.
Blood Money was so good. I know a lot of people like speak to that game. Mm-hmm. It's the one that had like the famous Ave Maria cue, pretty much like played in the beginning of the credits and the title screen.
Got it. Let me see if I have it.
It is so good. So I would recommend, if you're gonna play any Hitman game prior to the new trilogy, I would play that one.
Okay.
And that one only.
It's on my. I think all of them on my Steam account.
Perfect.
Do I have Hitman 1 and 2 on there? I have Hitman. That's
okay.
1. Okay, so and then I need to pick up 2. The nice thing about 2, at least on PlayStation, is if you own 1, it updates all of 1 into the new engine for part 2, and you can play the entire game in part 2.
Right. I think, wasn't Hitman 2 a free game for PlayStation, or
I think Hitman 1 was.
Okay.
And then maybe the first mission in Hitman 2.
I could have sworn we have Hitman 2.
I think I downloaded it, but I only have the first mission. Like I think that's one of them. You could buy like one of the episodes.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, because I think it still lets me buy it on PlayStation 2.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I will get to that one, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah, that's gonna be on my on my extended backlog, basically.
Yep. Astro's Playroom. They have an Astro game for PSVR that's supposed to be amazing.
Right.
It's another one of those. It's a platformer, but in VR, you could like look at the whole world kind of like a diorama.
That's cool.
And for me, the bar set for that kind of game is Moss.
Moss was so cool.
Yeah, like I spent half my time like looking through all the tunnels in that game.
Yes, Moss was so cool.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you let me play that at the bachelor party because that was amazing.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful game.
Yep. I mean, I don't think Astro Playroom is going to be VR.
No.
So therefore, that's going to be a no for me, dog.
But they are using the haptic feedback in the controller, so that one's like taking full advantage of all of the new technology in the controller.
What's that going to do for the controller? That's supposed to give you the sense of feeling, right?
Yeah, I guess basically like all the different feelings the controller is supposed to create or like recreate. This game is going to incorporate everything.
Okay.
Whereas not all games are going to obviously incorporate it day one. Whereas this one will totally give you like a hint of what this controller can do.
Yeah, I think the original Astro or the Playroom was like a demo for your PlayStation camera.
Yeah, it was.
So I think that this will follow the tradition of being like a demo for what is possible.
Yeah, it's their advertisement for their new technology.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Next game, Little Devil Inside. This is in my top 3.
Okay, wow.
Love the art style. I love the music. I love the tone. It felt like, it feels like a cartoon, but you're actually getting to play it. Like, I don't know, like something about it. I was like, ooh, this looks so fun.
Oh yeah, this one, I do remember this one. This one did look really cool.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about it, to be honest. But yeah, this one actually, the art style looked really awesome.
Mm-hmm. And it's the art style, like the characters look simple, but the worlds look so detailed. Yes. And they had one cinematic spot sticks with me, is the camera locked during a boss fight, but the character kept moving forward, so it kind of looked like from a point of view.
Oh yes, I do remember what you're talking about.
I think for the art style, they managed to make it look state of the art and fun. The music was very lighthearted. I really liked it. So, Little Devil Inside, that's a win for me.
Yeah, no, it looks really cool. Actually, I like the art style. I'm trying to remember. Like, I feel like I've seen a cartoon with that art style, but I just forget where I've seen it before.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it kind of reminded me of like Hello Neighbor in terms of like the look.
That's where I've seen it before. It wasn't a cartoon; it was that game.
Yeah, and I always wanted to play that game, but even when it's on cheap sale, everyone's like, "Don't buy it; it's trash." But I still wanted to pick it up. Nice. NBA 2K21.
Yeah,
I have very good memories of I think NBA 2K15 was the first one for PlayStation 4.
Okay.
And I had it for PlayStation 3. And then I got it again when I got my PlayStation 4, and it looked incredible. Like, the difference for me, because I was playing the other one almost daily to going to the new one, I'm like, oh, this is a new system. Because you have that direct thing to compare it to. But I was a little disappointed with how this one looked. This was like boasting the sweat, I guess. Right. It's like, look at him sweat. Look at that sweat. Oh. But then he shot it in the basket and the net was so stiff. I'm like,
nah.
You put too much into sweat and not enough in everything else.
Yeah, who cares about the sweat? I'm not going to be zooming in on that. I want to see it. I want to see it swish through the hoop properly.
Yeah, and like, I guess the facial expressions are better because sometimes you're in a video game, like they look good when they're straight faced, but then they talk and the face falls apart.
Yeah.
So I was super disappointed. I'm actually I was a big fan of the NBA 2K games, but this one, doesn't look good.
Yeah, I'm just not a big sports guy in general. Like, I used to be a big Madden guy, but not for the longest time.
I'm enjoying MLB 2K20. I enjoyed 19 a lot. So
nice.
Those will be fun when those come around. But
yeah.
Otherwise, I don't mind buying a sports game every 5 years.
Yeah, I hear you.
Next one is Bug Snacks.
Yeah. This one, it's really funny because when it first started, I was like, I'm not into this. I'm good. And then he's like holding the little strawberry and talking, and then she eats it. And I'm like, what the hell did I just witness? Like, what just happened? And I was like, okay, I'm all about this. And then I saw the gameplay. I was like, Yeah, I'm not. No, I'm good.
I was actually I'm kind of the opposite.
Wow.
I was really well. Hold on. I was really into the voice acting, and when they started talking, I'm like, oh, this sounds fun. Like,
yeah.
And then like I saw it was by the people who made Octodad, and I'm like, okay, this makes sense for how weird it looks.
Right.
But I also didn't play Octodad longer than half an hour, so. I think this will be the same kind of thing. If it's free on PlayStation Plus, I'll give it a shot, but I don't know.
Yeah, that trailer song will forever be stuck in my head, and I hate it.
Yeah, but I really liked the voice acting. It was really cute, and like my wife liked it. So.
Yeah, no, the voice acting was fun. I agree.
The second half of this list I watched with Emily, so like I have her perspective as well.
Nice.
Demon Souls remake.
Okay.
Yep, it happened.
Cool.
Yeah. Deathloop.
This looked awesome. I mean, I loved the theme that they were going for, like the 1960s, like super spy kind of like vibe. It looks super fun. Like it may not be like one of the first things I'll pick up, but I have a feeling it's going to be one of those games that I'm going to play eventually because it looks super fun.
If I can go, this was my number 4. Like
nice.
I don't like first person, but this one looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It had a very specific vision and great storytelling in the trailer alone. I'm in.
Yep.
So, good job, Bethesda. You got me.
Bethesda has those moments, man.
I know. Like, in the way I identified Bethesda to my wife, I was like, hey, you remember in E3 when the guy was so excited that the map glows in the dark? That's this company. Like, because when he was talking about Fallout 76, and he's like, it glows in the effing dark. And she thought it was so funny. And she brings it up a lot. So I'm like, this is a glow in the dark developer.
This is them. Oh my god.
That's definitely going to be a pickup for me.
Cool.
Resident Evil Village or Resident Evil 8. Coolest thing about it for me was the logo. I thought the logo was
awesome. Honestly, I was when it said Village, I was kind of picturing like the Witch Hunt kind of like style, and I'm all about like the movie Witch. Have you seen Witch?
No, that's they made another movie. I think that was the same maker as The Lighthouse, which I just watched, and I hated it.
The Witch is effed. I'm just saying it's effed up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
It is messed up, and it is really good. But I got all those vibes from that, and I'm all about Resident Evil 8. I have yet to finish 7 because it's so damn scary, but I'm already down for this Dark Ages style Resident Evil game. Like, it looks super cool.
It always to me feels like they're in the same area. Either the houses are really run down redneck wooden shacks, or they're these elaborate like stained glass windows, fancy chandelier houses. And I just got I guess I just got kind of tired of how it looks. But it's a signature of the series, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed
I think that's the direction they're taking it anyway.
Yeah. I liked how 5 had multiplayer, and I wish they'd go back to that.
That'd be fun. I agree.
This is the kind of game I'd love to play with a friend.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to be picking this one up.
Not right away.
Unless it's in VR.
Okay.
Because watching you play 7 is still one of my favorite moments.
Agreed.
So, yeah. All right. What about Pragmata?
That was a weird trailer. That was like some Hideo Kojima stuff. Like, that was weird. That was so weird.
Yeah. My wife was intrigued. I'm just going to call her by her name now. Emily was intrigued.
Yeah.
We almost said it at the same time. She said, I'm intrigued. And I said, that looks terrible.
You're a horrible person.
When they were in space at the end, the girl looked like PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Bad graphics.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like it was very out there. You're right. It felt Hideo Kojima, but I no.
I have no idea what's going on, so I don't really care.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Not yet, anyway. So
yeah. So yeah, that doesn't come out for another 2 years, though.
I know. So whatever.
Yeah.
Watch it won't. It'll get delayed.
Yeah, probably. Last one, Horizon Forbidden West.
I mean, I loved Horizon Zero Dawn. I guarantee this is going to probably be more of the same. So I'm down.
Yeah, I didn't beat the first one. I probably got an hour into it. And I liked it.
Neither have I. I have not beaten the first one either.
I didn't get very far, but I enjoyed what I played.
I got really far, which is upsetting because I have no idea what happened. Like, I have no idea what I did.
Either you got to start over or do what I did when Emily wanted to catch up and watch the end of The Last of Us with me, is I showed her like an hour and a half worth of cutscenes.
Oh yeah, I may have to do that. But either way, it's I think the only thing that they need to work on, which I imagine they will because they'll have next gen graphics, are the facial animations, because that was the only issue I had with that game. Like the faces were like dead. Like they were just like besides Aloy, the faces were dead, and they needed to like do some serious work on the expressions because it was bad. But that was it. Yeah. Everything else was like, the gameplay was so fun, and you really had to like plan out your attacks, and it's going to be more of that. And it also looks like there's going to be a lot more of like deep water, underwater exploration, which looks super cool. I'm usually like, I usually hate underwater levels, but this actually looked really beautiful, so I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure I'll get to it, but it's not going to be unless I play the first one, which I might.
Right.
I'm glad that all of these games are compatible on PlayStation 5, all of my PlayStation 4 games.
Right.
Because I want to get this immediately, and I don't want to have two consoles.
I agree. I'm not going to probably get the PlayStation 5 till my birthday, but yeah.
If GameStop's open and I'm able to trade this in even for like $150,
that's
I'll
good
do
enough.
it.
Yeah, I mean, and I know we're really low on time, but I'm just curious what you thought about the actual console itself. Like, what do you think about the look of it?
I thought it looked cool. I'm not down on it. People complain that it looked like a router. They always have a complaint
going around.
Yeah.
The air purifier pictures. People saying it looks like the 360, which I actually kind of slightly agree with.
I'm just glad it doesn't look like the Xbox One Series X.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
That was just
the best thing I saw was like how like people are going to try to figure out how they're going to like where they're going to store these games, and they basically had the Xbox 360X as like the base of a table, and then you put the PlayStation 5 on top of the table.
I saw you posted that. That was good.
That's so funny.
If they have a digital only version, are you getting it?
They do. They have an all digital version, and then they have the physical version. I'm just trying to figure out what the price is going to be. My guess is it's going to be $549 for the digital and $600 for the physical. That's my guess.
I have a lot of people thinking it's not going to be over $500.
Really? Okay.
If it's $100 difference, I'll get the digital.
Fair enough.
I think.
Fair enough.
But other than that, if it's less than 100, then I'll get the regular one.
I think I do the same. If it's a $50 difference, I'll just spend the extra $50 and get the physical. But if it's 100, I think I'll go with what you're doing.
Especially if you can do the account sharing like we do now.
Yeah, it's like why do you need physical?
I don't think they changed that.
Yeah, but unless you're a collector, I don't see a point for physical.
I mean, you're at the mercy of PlayStation for sales.
That is true.
Because at least like GameStop, they have like, $5 for used Uncharted 4.
That's true. But I mean, honestly, the last time I've gone to any store to buy a physical copy, I mean, it's been I think the last physical copy I got was from you. It was a birthday present. So
the only one I started at first getting physical copies was Nintendo, but only because they do a great job of keeping the resale value so high.
Right.
They're like Honda.
No, yeah. It's true. That's a great description. They're like Honda.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah. All right, let's move on because we need to.
Yeah, I think we're over.
We're doing okay. Okay,
I thought we already hit the hour.
No, we started at 22.
Oh, great.
All right, so what time is it? I already forgot.
10:17.
10:17. Retrospect games that came out this time last not last year, in the past.
We got to come up with a fun slogan for this.
In retrospect, what games came out in 5-year increments ago?
5, 10, yeah, 5 increment. That's great.
5 years old. Batman: Arkham Knight.
Woohoo!
I love that game.
Yeah, I've yet to play it, but I couldn't find anything on it other than a couple things that were probably obvious. But I guess it was the first of the series to introduce the Batmobile as a drivable vehicle, which was huge. Yeah. And the map was...
I mean, they overdid it, though. They're like...
Did they?
Okay, now fight all the bad guys in the car. Yeah.
They made it like a plot point.
They did. And they're like, it also turns into a tank. This is a tank fight.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's kind of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the map was 5 times the size of Arkham City.
Yes. Yeah, that was cool. All right. Coming in at 10 years old, Transformers: War for Cybertron.
Multi-platform release. War for Cybertron actually received generally favorable reviews, with many viewing it as an improvement over the past Transformers games. I guess it was praised for its multiplayer character designs and voice acting, with criticisms given to the visual design of the game's setting.
Okay.
And I don't think that was actually the fun fact that I wanted. But that's the one that I copied and pasted. There was something else about it that was interesting. I think it was something to do with maybe that was it. Yeah, I guess it got really good reviews. It did well. So
yeah, I've never heard of it, so good for it.
Yeah, congratulations.
15 years old. Last week we talked about Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Did I mess that up?
So, on these 2 dates, it released on PC and Xbox, but the game was actually released October 2004.
Oh, jeez. I messed that up big time.
I mean, a lot of these games, they count the re-release as
true.
A release, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. All right.
So we don't. I mean, do you want to share another fun fact about it?
I saw that and I was like, well, that's just my bad, and we'll just move on.
Yeah, it's. We need to start collecting from the same website.
I know. I totally agree. I've been going to like the wiki sites where it's like they actually have a list of every single release within that year.
Got it. Oh, because I'm like gaming anniversaries 2020.
Oh yeah, no, I go to wiki. It's really helpful.
That's fair. Yeah. Not helpful enough, apparently.
Yeah, I guess not. Jeez.
So next one, Advanced Wars Dual Strike for the Nintendo DS is 15 years old.
Woohoo! I have no idea what this game's about.
Nope.
But it had some actually interesting things. Dual Strike received universal acclaim and also won several awards, including Best Strategy Game for the DS from IGN in 2005. It sold more than 35,000 copies in its first 10 weeks in Japan. Also, another one was wireless play was originally planned for the game. However, wireless was not part of the Electronic Entertainment Expo build, and Nintendo was therefore unable to demonstrate its capabilities. By the final release build of the game, local wireless, but not Nintendo Wi-Fi, was implemented and supported to 2 to 4 players in normal battle mode, 2 players in DS battle, and up to 8 players in combat mode. So, obviously it did pretty well.
Next one, the PC release of Battlefield 2.
Yes. There wasn't much to talk about this one, other than there was a lot of things that were actually removed from the game, that were scrapped early on in development. Like they removed a lot of weapons, vehicles. There was actually supposed to be like an underwater warfare gameplay. Like you could actually like swim underwater and shoot each other underwater in like scuba diving suits, which looked super cool. But it was like scrapped, I guess, early on in the game. So it never made it to final completion.
Oh well. I don't think I played that one, but
neither did I. I played Battlefield 3, I think.
I think we played 5 or 4.
Yeah, we played 4. I also played Bad Company, and Bad Company was like, I think my favorite Battlefield game of all time.
I remember the commercials looking really fun.
Battlefield Bad Company was so fun, and they need to make another one like ASAP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next and our last one, Deus Ex came out for the PC 20 years ago. On June 17th.
20 years ago. God, 2000. This was actually the most interesting fun fact out of all the games. So get this. World Trade Center towers are missing in the New York skyline. They were cut out due to technical memory limitations, and the game explains that they were destroyed by terrorists earlier in the game's story.
Woo.
Yeah, right? Can you believe that? A year later.
Dang.
Yeah, that is creepy.
Al-Qaeda
It's almost
is
like
a fan of Deus Ex.
It's almost like somebody watched Deus Ex like, hey, that's
Guys,
a good
I have an idea.
What? I just played this game, Deus Ex. Not again. No, listen, you have to listen to this one.
It sounded for a second like you were putting on an accent, and I was like, Nathan,
No.
no.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Nathan, stop.
Stop. you just like cut the Zoom. You just cut the Zoom call. Jeff.
Blocked on all social media.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so I thought that was really creepy.
That is
fact.
really creepy.
That's not really a fun fact. That's like a holy crap fact.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
So there you go. Deus Ex.
Good to know. Called
the future.
That was retrospect.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our last. That was a pretty good sound effect.
Thank you. That was my mouth.
Our last segment is give it an hour. We both played games this week. I played Firewatch and Nathan played To the Moon.
See.
I'll start on this one.
Cool.
So I played Firewatch. I really enjoy the colors of this game. It's really bright, almost in a cartoony way. Very distinct style. I really, really enjoyed the written story in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly wish the game had more of that.
Yeah.
Because like you didn't always get to choose what you said, but your choices were referenced later. I thought it was very sweet. The first thing I do in a first-person game is I always look at my feet.
Oh, interesting.
And a lot of games don't have feet. So it was a nice little detail.
You're like, whoa, I got feet.
You had a whole body. It was really cool.
Yeah, you had a backpack and everything.
The turning was pretty choppy.
Okay.
And I play on a PlayStation 4, so it was like very jarring. And I think that's where stuff like 60 frames a second come in.
Our discussion earlier.
But like I actually ran into a lot of frame rate issues on PlayStation Pro.
Interesting.
That I didn't think I should have gotten, and it was really frustrating at some points.
Oh, that is frustrating. I didn't have any of those issues when I was playing on. Yeah, I want to say it was a PS3 game, wasn't it?
No, I think it was PlayStation 4 and PC.
Okay, maybe it was like early on, and I was playing on a base.
Yeah. For some reason, I was really shocked to hear his voice. I thought it was going to be one of those games where the main character was silent.
Oh yeah.
So because that was when you got to the cabin, it was like a complete shift in the game. Like,
yep,
it felt like a new game. I thought it was a really big hassle trying to juggle the map and the compass and move long distances.
Okay.
Like, because I felt like I would look at the map and see, and I would try to walk forward, and as soon as you walk forward, he lowers the map, so you can't see where you're going. I got really mad at it.
You're like, dang it.
I really liked the walkie-talkie conversations, but it wasn't very intuitive how to respond, and especially in the first part of it, I missed a lot of prompts because I couldn't figure out how to scroll, and some of them were timed.
Gotcha. Yes, they were timed.
Yeah, so I missed several like dialogue opportunities, and I was pretty bummed about that.
That sucks.
The game was only 6 hours, and I was very confident that I was going to finish it. But it took me forever to get through day 2. Like, I think I picked it up 4 times on day 2, and I just couldn't finish it. And I finally finished it, and I'm like, I am done with this game for at least now. So I don't think I'm going to finish it anytime soon. And I actually wrote it wasn't going to be on my backlog. But talking about it again, I am going to put it on my backlog.
Celebration music.
It's going pretty far down there.
That's fine. That's fair. But honestly, you do need to start over then and go back to those prompts, because the conversations are gold. And honestly, I want you to see where that story goes, because it is I don't want to spoil anything. I'm just gonna say that
it started, and I wrote down. I said, "Wife is dead. We're spreading the ashes." That was my prediction.
Nice.
I didn't like. It seems pretty quickly that I was wrong.
Yeah.
I saw that the game featured nudity, and I was like, "Nice." And then I realized the only nudity was the drawing of you that she put in the notebook.
You're like, ah!
Because immediately you go up to the campers that are naked, but you can't see them. And I think you're not going to see any, like, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you see any other real players in this game.
You don't.
Okay.
You don't.
So, I kind of wish there were other people, but it's really nice having the conversation.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't say you don't see anyone.
Okay.
Because that would spoil it, but
okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
So I will get to it, but
cool. Well, I'm glad.
I need to come back to it because right now I'm frustrated.
Yeah, you're a little frustrated. I'm glad I could find something that finally kind of fits your niche.
Yeah, like honestly, if it was third person, I probably would have finished it because I got a little nauseous at a part or two.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, 1 or 2 times I had to put it down just because I was too nauseous from the walking around and jumping up the rocks and turning down to rappel down all the parts. There was way too many rappelling parts.
There was a lot of rappelling.
And it wasn't even like down a mountain. It was like go down this steep hill with gravel.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, there's a lot of like exploration. But anyway, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yes. Yeah. All right, tell me about To the Moon.
Okay, To the Moon. Well, obviously you love this game to death because you keep talking about it. First things first. First things first.
Shut up.
It is such a sweet story.
Yes.
Like I got choked up multiple times, specifically at the beginning when you start to realize like the relationships and how sweet the love story is. Like really, really sweet. And so I got choked up multiple times. The banter between the doctors is absolutely hilarious. Like I was immediately reminded of the 2 skeletons. From, like immediately I was like, okay, this is like literally a direct link to the 2 games for Undertale and To the Moon. Their banter was so funny. They're just like, ripping each other and just like, busting each other's balls. It was so good. So that the dialogue's really well done. The concept is really cool too. I just love the idea that you're going back in time to like try to put these memories together to figure out why this guy ultimately wants to go to the moon. I got very far actually. I got back to when he was like preteen.
Nice.
So I'm pretty far in the game. I feel like I'm really close to beating it. Like I was actually hoping I could beat it before we got to tonight, so I could surprise you, be like, I beat it.
Yeah, but, I wanted to do that with Firewatch, and then you're like, I think you're gonna beat it, and by that point, I was like, I don't think so.
I'm calling BS, buddy.
I'm still on day 2.
Yeah.
And then I looked it up, and I said, how many days are there? And they're like 79. And I was like, what? But you don't play every day.
No, you don't. You don't play all 79 days.
I was like, are you kidding me?
Time skips. Yeah, so no, honestly, the game's really fun. The sound, however, is a bit basic at points.
Yeah.
And really rough in some sections. Like, I don't know if it's just because I work in sound, but you can literally hear the loop of the rain, like, looping and, like, ending and starting again. I'm like, oh, this sounds horrible.
Yeah.
And
I
honestly...
think it's...
Go ahead. No, I was going to say the walking sucks.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. Walking in that game blows. Like, you can't walk diagonally. It's, why can't I walk diagonally? Like, half the time I have to walk diagonally. It was really frustrating. But besides that, great game.
Yeah, good.
So I'm going to be adding to my backlog. I'm going to finish it. I'm so close. I may as well. And I really want to see why this guy wants to go to the moon. Like, I've already learned so much about his wife and him, and I really want to see where this goes. So,
God, it was such a good game.
It's really good.
I think I have to replay. I think it's just one of those issues where it's one guy, and he's not great at everything, but he had a vision and he did it.
Yeah, and it's just I can tell it's like a beautiful love story, and I'm probably gonna cry at the end. So this feeling.
I remember getting emotional. I have to play it again because I don't remember exactly how it goes.
Yeah, you should though, so you can be reminded of how horrible the walking is.
I do remember how frustrating it was to like get. I'm like, there's a log here. What do I do?
Yeah, I know. I was like, I gotta walk around it. Why?
Yeah,
and the horseback riding was horrible.
Yeah.
So like, it's really funny. Like mechanically, the game is not that great, but the story is told so well.
Yeah,
so like it makes up.
It's like he knew what story he wanted to tell, and he's like, "How could I tell it? I could make a movie,
right?
Or I could make a game." And then I don't know how to make a game. I'm going to try anyway.
I mean, for one guy, it's pretty good.
He's done a couple. He also did like a bird story, which I heard may or may not be a sequel.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so glad you liked it.
Yeah,
we had 100% week. That was good.
Woohoo!
All right. So next week, do you want to recommend a game to each other again, or do you want to? I have a game in mind that we could both play and talk about next week.
Okay. I'm down for either. I do have a game for you, so that's up to you.
I'm gonna say this week I would like for us both to play Inside.
Oh, okay.
Which is the second game by the creators of Limbo.
Yes. I have wanted to play this game, and I have not played this one yet. So that's actually a good suggestion.
I looked up when I was looking at major gaming moments of all time. Inside showed up on a lot of those lists. I didn't read what happens, but I heard it's a very good game. And
I'm down.
I remember watching you play Limbo for hours.
Yes.
And so I really like that game. So I think we're gonna do that for next week.
Cool. So
hold on to the game you have, because I also have a game for you.
Okay, great.
And it's gonna take some work getting it to you. So
okay,
this is for the best.
No, I believe you. I believe you.
All right. Well, that was fun. We both added games to our backlog, and
is that really that fun though? Sounds more like work to me, but no, I'm actually glad, because I normally don't play this kind of game. So this has actually been nice getting introduced to games I normally wouldn't play.
Yeah, and I'm realizing how different our tastes might actually be.
Dude, like I knew that immediately. As soon as we started this podcast, I was like, wow, we were like completely different like gamers. Like, but I actually appreciate that, because I think it actually makes for a much more interesting conversation. And you have people that'll come in here and have your taste and have my taste, and they can kind of figure out, how they connect. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was worried we were going to pick our top 3 and we'd both be like, Horizon, Spider-Man, Resident Evil. Like,
yeah. Great. Well, now what else are we supposed to talk about?
Yeah. So it's nice. Cool. Well, these are always longer than we want them to be, but that's
always.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
Thank you. And let's hit our music. 5, 6, 7, 8.